Hi Internet, I'm Tango, and these are Tango's Takes. And the take for today, Saturday, October 16th, 2021, know your roommates. Okay, now I'm going to focus around conventions with this, but honestly this applies to pretty much any living situation, no matter how temporary. The slightly longer version of know your roommates is, to the best of your ability, know who your roommates are. We'll get into that specific wording later. I work at conventions. This is not a big secret. Some of the conventions are big enough now that they have to do lotteries for hotel rooms. Some conventions that are not furry have been doing that for years. And one of the big furry conventions, in fact, the biggest furry convention, recently ran their lottery, drew the results, and notified people. And the way you could improve your odds of getting a room was if you had your roommates established in advance and you listed them. Or rather, they entered, like, the group leader went in and said, hey, I need a room, I'm expecting this many people, blah. And they got a code, and anyone else in the room would go in and go, hi, I went to room with so-and-so, here's their code. So that if you had 4 people in a room, there were 4 chances for your room to get drawn and get granted, kind of thing. When the results came out, some people got very angry on Twitter. Why did you tell them my real name? They didn't need that. Folks, these people are going to room with you for a day, 2, 3, 4 more days. They're going to have access to your stuff. Your clothes, your costumes, your luggage, your medication, your electronics, you name it. If you brought it with you and it's in that room, they're going to have access to it if it's not somehow locked up. You should know who you're rooming with, and they have every right to know who they are rooming with. Now, I acknowledge it within the fandom. We don't tend to use legal names much, or other real names, because, yep, there was a person, and look, I understand it. I've not been there, but I understand it. If you no longer go by Jonathan, but by Josiah, and you identify as female now, and even though you were identified male at birth, if you haven't legally changed your name, the hotel needs your legal name. People whose names are on that room, they should be able to request a replacement room key if something happens. But a large enough event, or new enough hotel staff, reasons for suspicion, whatever, it is not unreasonable that a hotel staff member that you have asked for a replacement key in order to help verify your identity, that you are who you say that you are. Maybe you have a really common name. Just how many John Smiths could there possibly be? They're going to ask you to verify someone else on their room. And you need to be able to provide a name, and that's going to be a legal name, not the common use name, I guess is the best word I've got for you. Now, I also know, though, I heard this at one of the first diners I went to for breakfast when I was in Idaho for work. And the situation had never even occurred to me, but as soon as I heard it described, I'm like, yeah, that's a thing. You may be in a situation where you don't know who's sharing your living space with you, because your living space might be like a homeless shelter. And at that point, you have to take actions to protect your stuff. But when you are choosing where you get to stay, maybe not the best choices sometimes if you choose to stay with family, or are forced to stay with family because you cannot find a better option, and there are definitely worse options for your situation. If you have some say, you should know who you're staying with. And they should know who you are. And you should all have ways to reach each other. Know who your roommates are. This will help you keep your stuff safe, keep yourself safe, and can therefore keep you healthy. So I can see you all next time.